Hello, welcome back to Down with Boring issue episode 140.
150.
Nine?
150.
Is it
It's
150 this time?
150.
Is it 150 this time? Honestly,
We
every time.
joked. Oh, we joked about not having any anything special planned or lined up, and literally 4 seconds in, you're like, "What's this one again?" Oh yeah, 150. 150.
Are you sure?
It is. It's Down with Boring.
Feels like people
150.
would have sent us flowers or something.
It's well, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for my bouquets to arrive. That'd
Did
be
you
really
mention
great.
this to our special guest this week?
I did mention it to our special guest,
Okay.
actually. So
We're on brand. Welcome back to
yes.
Down with Boring, the 150th episode of the podcast
Way!
that just keeps going.
It just keeps
Thing
going.
is, it's going to be 2 years until we get to 200 episodes.
Yeah,
We've
we
really,
started out the traps early, didn't we? We started
Yeah,
out with a real sprint,
But
and
what I
now
mean
we're on
is
a little
we've
marathon.
really fucked the opportunity to do something big in the 100th issue year of Dork. We've done well there. Maybe we'll do a big 151st celebration.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe as part of the 100 celebrations, we'll corner off a bit of a pub and we'll just chat, and we'll do this live. But without any microphones, which it's more of a this is a Friday
like
night
an
and
art
we're just
installation. We'll be like David Blaine.
an art installation. What people walk around and come in at certain points and just hear us
we'll
going.
be in a glass box and people can listen to us.
Yes.
But we won't eat or drink while we're in the glass box, and it'll be suspended by the London Eye.
Yeah, suspended by the London Eye, yeah. Just opposite Shrek's Adventure World, you'll be able to find us for the month of July. But until then, you've got this, our 150th episode. We are joined by a very special guest, Bradley Simpson.
Well, we're not, are we?
Well, you weren't there.
I wasn't there. I couldn't make it along.
I was there.
I thought we were leaving a sort of pause for sort of reflection, calm reflection.
For dramatic effects.
On a lack of, I would say, arguably the more talented and charismatic of the podcast hosts, arguably.
Right. It's been 150 episodes and we're still in debate on this, so we haven't really quite worked it out. But
yes,
that was taken,
the wonderful Bradley Simpson, who at his show we live streamed, and I believe Jedward got involved.
Yeah. Obviously, as part of our Dorks Night Out run of shows, so don't worry, everyone. You won't have to listen to us for about 10 minutes talk about all the different shows that we've got in now, because we've done a lot of them, and there'll be more to come. There's going to be a load more to come for the rest of the year. But that all happened in the past 2 weeks, which included Bradley Simpson at Colours Hoxton, which, as Jake mentioned, was live streamed. And we were joined by Jedward on the stream, who I think mentioned they were having a jawgasm watching.
Yeah, Jedward's odd, isn't it? I mean, when one of them dies, what's going to happen to the other one? I worry.
Well, what happened to? I mean, the Chuckle Brothers is your prime example.
But they weren't quite as sort of symbiotic.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
You cut one of Jedward and the other one bleeds.
Maybe they just have to go at the same time. Maybe it's one of those things. It's like it's all or nothing sort
Smeared
of
smeared across a car windscreen in a paste.
But they did enjoy the live stream and Bradley Simpson show, which was really great.
Sorry to be so morbid there, but I just worry. I worry about Jedward. Also, the new issue is out now. It has now been announced. So we've got Black Country New Road on the cover, we've got Blonde Shell on the cover, and we've got Camilla Cabello on the cover.
There we go. What a crew.
Loads of good stuff inside too. I think probably something I've written's in there. So,
probably something you've written
everyone.
There. Probably. You reckon
probably.
so? Yeah, it's a stacked issue as we
I've done bits and pieces the last few weeks.
You have done stuff. Just because you weren't at the Bradley Simpson show.
That's true.
Just to clarify, Jake's been doing quite a lot of things.
I have.
Which will emerge over the coming weeks. So
will.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what happened. I spoke to Seb from Viagra Boys for this issue. And a little peek behind the curtain. That actually happened quite close to its release, like closer than normal. So it was a bit last minute.
Right, yeah.
And then we were going to speak to Viagra Boys for the podcast at some point in the next few months. And then promo time came up very soon. So I did that well in advance. So that's not actually out until the end of the month. But what happened was I interviewed Seb from Viagra Boys on Zoom, and then I think about a fortnight later interviewed him in person,
Did it again?
and he was incredibly confused. by that, as you would
more,
be. Just thought, like, why are we doing another interview?
I was thinking about to say, was he thinking just, why are you here again? I've seen you recently. Yeah,
he said, nice to meet you, and then he said, wait, I recognise you, as if I'd come in like a fake moustache. Anyway, we did that in Helgi's bar in Hackney, which was pitch black at 4:30 in the afternoon and closed because it's a metal bar. It's a great bar, but it was pitch black and closed. And then I dropped the cable I used to get all of the audio off of our recording devices onto our laptops, and I didn't realise, and now I don't have one. My train was delayed, so I was late. It was honestly, it was terrible. But Jamie didn't come to that, so I just wanted to get that out there that we traded.
We traded. All I did was go to Colours Hoxton, sit in the very luxurious green room / karaoke room, and had a really great chat with Bradley Simpson, which you can listen to shortly, really. Yeah. It's going to be later in the show.
New issue is out.
Yes.
We've got Picture Parlour at the 100 Club, 20th of March, completely sold out, very sold out.
Very sold out.
Get on the waiting list for that. But you'll be lucky, guys. We did warn you. We
really did. Also, we'll be joined by my first time in Alphabet at that show. So it's going to be a proper stat, but you want to get down early to catch those.
If you've got a ticket. If you haven't got a ticket,
join the waiting list.
Go home.
Yeah, go home.
Yeah. And then we've also announced Total Tommy at the Seabright Arms on May the 7th, haven't we, Jamie?
We have a really special show. That's going to be Total Tommy's first ever London headline show. So it's going to be grand. Make those summer plans already.
Previously, we've only had partial Tommy in London.
Yes. And now we're in full. Big fan of Total Tommy here, so that'll be a really great night. So get down to that. And cheers to everyone who came. I guess over the past week, we were talking about the Bradley.
Oh, who cares? That happened already.
Who came to which post at the Seabright Arms with Vinton's last summer? Who cares? Who cares? And last night was at Seabright for Night Bus, Slate, and Punchbag, which is also a very good show. So more Dork Live stuff coming up. Buy an issue. Buy a ticket.
Cares?
Apart from the fact you can't buy a ticket for Picture Parlour, but join the waiting list.
Buy a ticket for Total Tommy. If you don't know anything about Total Tommy and you go and you think this isn't really my kind of thing, if you find Jamie, he will sing you the entirety of Norwegian Wood by Picture Parlour. So it'll be like you're there. And that's all. I've been doing that for the live sphere, I think.
Yeah, that's it. That's all that's going on. Well, in terms of, I guess, outside of our Dork shows,
if you even care,
there's some. If you even care, there's some other big live festival related news that's been going on.
John Fogerty's playing Glastonbury, isn't he?
Bam, huge.
The former Creedence Clearwater Revival frontman, who I think has been struggling to sell out venues for a while through some weird insistence on not putting the fact that he was the singer of Creedence Clearwater Revival on any of his promo.
Yeah.
So it just says John. I mean, I'm going to be honest. This isn't actually what we're going to talk about for Glastonbury. But I just remember, like, he played the O2, and all the adverts were just like John Fogerty, and I was like, my dad is a big Creedence fan. I'm aware of it. Yeah. I only vaguely know that man is from that
who
band.
Is. Yeah.
So
right.
Come on, John.
So you're saying his advertising is a problem. That's what you're saying. His getting the knowledge out there of who he is a big issue. So he's got maybe identity related.
It should say
concerns.
John Fogerty, who did Proud Mary brackets. No, the other version. Close brackets.
See, right. This happens a lot though when you see some slightly older bands who go like, "Oh, these people are playing," and they'll list the songs on the poster. You know, where it's like the Four Tops, the Temptations. They'll be like, "The people who did." And just list all of those like songs. Like, you're kind of giving away the set list.
That's fine though, isn't it? Like, I look forward to it in the future for bands that we are into now, because we can be like, come on, those aren't even their biggest songs. My favourite is when like the BBC will be like the Lady Gaga album came out today, right?
Yes.
So if there was news around Lady Gaga, normally they'd be like, oh, the Bad Romance singer, but sometimes they just go for like the most recent single, which makes it like completely like it will literally be like Lady Gaga known for songs such as, and there'll be three. Like, I don't what
this
They're
brand new one that no one has heard yet. Yeah, that one. Perfect.
Anyway, Gaga's not there. 1975.
Yes.
I think biggest friends of the magazine that there are. I think the chorist Dork band around. Neil Young, slightly less core, I would say, to what Dork does. And Olivia Rodrigo sitting in the happy middle point between 1975 and Neil Young.
Neil Young, yeah, always. A very big lineup announced for Glastonbury this year.
Charlie XCX clashing with Neil Young, so that's going to devastate a lot of people.
A lot of people, I'm sure. Yes. The decision between Club Classics and Keep On Rocking in the Free World. I actually think, knowing Neil Young and how long he plays Keep On Rocking in the Free World for, you could jump between the two.
You'd go watch 20 minutes of Charlie come back, and he'd still be rocking in the free world.
He's still rocking in the free world. He's still going. What's that about? A really stacked lineup across the board. You're looking at stuff as well, like the return of Wolf Alice, which is also a big pointer there. It's the first live show that they've kind of revealed for this year and for quite a while. So looking forward to that. Obviously, Gracie Abrams, Biffy Clyro, Wet Leg, obviously down there.
C-Mat. I would genuinely look at the lineup. It's kind of divided opinion between people that enjoy new music and listening to music, and people who once listened to music when they were 18 are now in their 50s and are absolutely outraged the world doesn't revolve around them anymore.
It's the classic, isn't it?
I don't even know who Olivia Rodrigo is. It's like, that's on you.
That's on you.
And also,
that really is on you.
Right. So like Neil Young and Charlie XCX are presumably going to overlap because of the day they're on and the fact that they're timing. So the people who are complaining about people like Charlie XCX, so you'll be a Neil Young anyway. That's how a festival works. You'll be somewhere else.
You don't have to be here. You don't do that.
You'll be up at that campfire bit listening to Frank Turner do the worst shit you've ever heard in your life. That's fine.
That's actually what's on the poster as well. It's Frank Turner brackets worst shit you ever seen in your life. A really stacked up. I think they've smashed it this year. I think you can't really complain with it.
I think the last few years there's been a bit kind of headliner wise. They've clearly been sort of struggling a bit, and I think 1975 I think is an odd choice because of where they are in their sort of cycles.
I mean, they finished
equally it kind of gives them more freedom to do something a bit different and a bit more individual rather than it being a tour thing. That's what everyone else complains about, right? When we saw Arctic Monkeys there and people were like, oh, it was just like they were doing when they were on tour. It's like they're on tour. It's a festival. I'm sorry.
They're on tour.
It's not some transcendental life experience. I really enjoy Glastonbury, but people need to grow up.
1975 will be a real moment, I think. It's been something a long time coming for them in terms of kind of like that ambition. And I think it's a really big, bold statement for them to be kind of coming
Olivia
back
Rodrigo, I think
massive.
Basically the young, like one of the youngest or newest acts they've had. So I think that's actually genuinely quite a brave choice. And then Neil Young, obviously, they always every year they do have that thing with one of the headliners. We've got to have like a legend that wouldn't play anywhere else.
Yes.
So like they've had Elton John, obviously. They had to have Guns N' Roses for some reason.
Guns N' Roses was good. We were there for that.
Yeah, that was honestly one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. So I think they do. It must be a struggle as to get people. And I think Neil Young is genuinely like a great one to get.
Yeah, he's a legend,
he's
right?
Of a level, right?
Yeah,
and also saw Bob Dylan and Neil Young together at British Summertime. Because I'm a big Bob Dylan fan, and obviously Bob Dylan was terrible because that's what he does, is terrible. But Neil Young, who I've never been that into, absolutely fucking knocked it out of the park, so fair play. There were rumours of Stevie Wonder, which would have been nice, but he's not there. But
also I think the balance works well. The balance works really nicely. You kind of
you'd only be swapping out Neil Young for Stevie Wonder, wouldn't you? There's no way Olivia or 1975. But it's just nice to see Glastonbury, which has always been a festival that's a bit more kind of conservative because of the size of it and the fact that it has to please so many people, actually kind of going all out and booking a lot of new stuff in a lot of big slots.
Yeah, like even stuff like Jade being on the lineup, I think is great. I think Ray's going to be playing like incredibly high up.
Weezer are playing.
Yeah, the Maccabees taking a return to Glastonbury after obviously reuniting for All Points East. There really is a real broad mix. So well done, you lot. Yeah. Emily Evis. If you want to send the tickets in the post to us, that'd be great.
Go for it.
Go for it.
I'm just desperate to see the script.
Speaking of the script, what we have down in the script is this is the 1975 with Looking for Somebody to Love.
The topic just don't fuck Supreme gentleman, gun in his hand, looking for somebody to love. Somebody to love. Somebody to love. Oh, this sure means that bitch. I wanna fucking real good. I wanna smash the competition.
There should really be an approved way of saying stuff in brackets on song titles. Like you should have to say it like quieter.
What, say the bracket? Oh, like looking for somebody.
Looking for somebody to love.
To love. Or does it go higher?
Looking
like
for somebody
to love. You know,
maybe.
You went pitch wise. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
The artist
you went
that's
louder,
emerged.
I guess. Lady Gaga's back.
Yes, Lady Gaga's returned.
This week. HotWax album, which we will talk about in tracks sneakily. Lady Gaga album, which we're talking about in news sneakily. And then Divorce album, which we're talking about in albums not so sneakily.
Not so sneakily.
It feels like the first big album release week of the year. Feels like the first time there's been multiple butting up against each other. We're recording this on Friday lunchtime because of our schedules. So the reason Gaga is not in albums is because we just haven't had the time to give it a proper,
we really haven't had enough time
appraisal, to be honest. Whereas Divorce, little secret for everyone back home, if you're a music journalist, you get sent things early. And we have had time to listen to Divorce.
Look how the bourgeoisie live. Look how the elite
We've done
live.
our homework.
We've
driven to Goldhammer and back. So anyway, Gaga, new album. A lot of crazy stuff going on this.
Yeah.
Really enjoying how completely out and out she's just gone. She was like before, like, oh, there's a bit that's like 80s, a bit that's quite like funky. And then you listen, you're like, oh, wow, okay. Like, you didn't just say that in the way most people do, where you're like, sure, whatever. Like, some of these tracks are just like so different to some of the other ones.
I also think it's, I think people have been, it's always been the way with Gaga a bit. Obviously, has done so much, not just across music, but into TV, into film. Has kind of taken all these journeys, gone to jazz albums with Tony Bennett and has gone all the way around, almost like a country-esque
jazz album with Tony Bennett sounds like really old school slang for like doing heroin. like sort of 1930s slang.
Like
film noir. Like
he's out back doing jazz with Tony Bennett.
Say what happened to Gaga? She was doing heroin. She was doing heroin. She was doing a jazz album with Tony Bennett. You'd be like, oh god, another one.
It's quite bad to think that I've almost forgot about the fact that she put out that album for the Joker movie last year.
Yeah, we all tried to.
So instead, she's gone, right, let me fucking correct this. This feels like the big, and it's kind of been billed as the big pop return of superstar Lady Gaga.
Well, because she's done a few things over the past few years which have been more like soundtracky stuff, or like there's kind of more acousticy stuff and that.
Yeah.
So I think it is quite and also like listening to the album, it's like, okay, you weren't lying. So I think it's quite good that she has got I guess an awareness of that, because it means that stuff has always kind of side project and can be enjoyed in its own right, rather than you coming into it like, God, I can't wait for the bangers. And then it's like, oh, no, actually, we've used AI to recreate Tony Bennett, and he's back.
Yeah, look who it is. I mean, we talked about Chromatica, the last album, on the show before. I mean, 5 years ago now, but we did.
We did.
But like that felt like a real fun, big kind of like pop return, but the fact it's dialed up even more on this, and I think that, like you say, comes from the various kind of like things she's done in between as well. I don't know, it just kind of feels like a proper statement that's done in her own way. Like, I think people forget, especially when she first came out, like especially with like The Fame and Born This Way, just how huge that all sounded. So it's great to get a reminder of that with kind of like this album. I think
it's hard in 2025 to be pop star with a kind of singular sound and a singular path. Gaga's definitely one of them. We can't talk about it anymore because we have loads to get through, so we're going to play Zombie Boy.
Can't be this way. I could be a type from your zombie bite. No, I can't see straight. The feeling's right. I could be a type from your zombie bite.
From from Lady Gaga to another singular pop star carving his own path through the world. An icon. Pitbull played London, which, you know, Jamie went to. We can talk about that in a second. But this actual news story, which is enjoyable. Pitbull, a lot of people went to Pitbull, and obviously there's quite a cheesiness to going to see Pitbull. So a lot of people wore bald caps, so they looked like Pitbull.
Yes.
And obviously some pop stars might take offense at that or ignore it. But Pitbull said, now I want to say a special thank you to everybody who came out with bald caps here tonight. It's amazing to see and it's amazing to feel. And I hope when you put on those bald caps, you feel just like I do, having a good motherfucking time every day of my life.
That was just one of many
That's so emotional.
aspirational quotes that came out.
So emotional.
When I talk about that gig,
Jamie went to see Pitbull on the night that I posed to my girlfriend. If anyone at home wants to hear about the divergent paths that our lives are taking,
I went to Pitbull, and when I say I've never seen a gig like it,
I put in the group chat that I was engaged, and Jamie's signal was so bad that a message he had sent before then sent immediately after. So I said, I've got some news. Haley and I are engaged.
Can't believe you get
Jamie's response on my WhatsApp was just a video of Pitbull, of Lil Jon, I think it was.
Yeah.
Who was supporting Pitbull. And I said this to Jamie after, and he said, yeah, there was a real moment of me being like, oh God, no, how do I unsend something?
I was trying to unsend the video because I was there like, this can't be the first reaction that I give to the wonderful news that you are engaged. And then the song that was in the background at the time was Pitbull playing International Love, which felt really triumphant. The show was fucking mad.
Yeah.
And like, maybe
he's coming back in June.
He's coming back.
And he's being supported by Shaggy.
Well, so just to paint a picture, so I've walked into the O2. On the tube there, people in bald caps everywhere, right? And we'd kind of seen that this was a thing because I think he'd played Dublin like the day before or something like that. And you'd seen people do it. You're like, right, okay. When I talk about loads of people in bald caps, loads of people in suits, walked in, suddenly just people everywhere. I was very fortunate to sneak in with a mate of mine, and we were in a quite nice area to watch the show. And it's like, people aren't going to be wearing bald caps here. There were a full row. There was a moment that I was having a conversation with someone in a bald cap talking about the fact that we both grew up in Croydon as Pitbull was playing, I believe, I Like It, his work with Enrique Iglesias.
Of course, yeah.
Everyone was sending it. And when absolutely fucking, it was like you were in Tiger in like 2012. The soundtrack was predominantly just that era, absolutely going at it. Pitbull came out and the place went fucking mad, and then he would just continue the show throughout and would have inspirational quotes just throughout, like as you kind of like went on. He talked about the fact that, you know, you've got to live your life, it's now or never, because he has a song with Bon Jovi, as you do. He then followed that up with, at one point, just talking about, he kept saying, thank you for the love, thank you for the support, and thank you for the opportunity. He said that about 20 times all through the night. People were losing their marbles. It was a Friday night as well. So whoever planned that in is a fucking genius. Insane. And the whole thing has kicked off now. He's returning in June. Maybe one of the most in-demand gigs of the year. I did not have Pitbull down as being that, but now I understand it. So maybe next time I come in a ball cap, I think is the plan.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, you know, they can't, they won't, and they never will stop the party.
Yeah.
We're gonna. Well, I'm going to leave. Jamie's going to talk to Bradley Simpson, and then I'm going to come back. But first, here is Pitbull with "Don't Stop the Party."
Don't stop.
Yeah, like Slinky. And now I'm doing shows in Helsinki. I know what y'all thinking. You're thinking that you can outthink me, but you can't, frankly. I'm out for the Benjis, Frankies. You know, just cause you ain't me, don't hate me. As a matter of fact, you should.
Here we are.
We are in the wonderful confines of the dressing room of Colours Hoxton. It's looking rather ravishing, as always.
As always.
As always.
I mean, I say that's my first time. As I imagine it always looks.
Yeah, this is it from now on. It's never been any different. We're joined by Bradley Simpson.
Hello,
How are you doing?
I'm
How are
good.
things?
I'm good, thank you, mate. Apart from someone left the door open in this dressing room, it's quite cold.
Yeah, we are basically on the street temperature-wise.
Essentially, yeah.
So yeah, for the people,
It's
obviously,
not cold though. It feels like it's insulated the cold.
the perfect conditions, right? Yeah. For context on this audio podcast, Bradley is in a scarf and a coat.
Yes, yeah,
That's where we are.
What you can't see is underneath the jacket and the scarf, I'm in a turtleneck. I'm in a roll neck. Like so many layers, dude.
You're bang in trouble here. We're really in trouble. Well, from the freezing temperatures, it's going to be a very warm night
Hopefully,
ahead.
yeah.
That be diving in. Of course, when people hear this, the show will have happened, so you would have seen that it would have been warm and energetic,
Sweaty.
and sweaty.
Yes.
How does it feel? I guess I just at this moment, obviously we're speaking just before the album comes out. Like, how does it feel kind of right now in the run up to kind of, I guess, that being out in the world, really?
It's slightly surreal. Like I'm excited, don't get me wrong, I'm massively excited, but I think I was speaking to someone last night about it, of you spend 2 years like working on something and it's always on the horizon. It's been on the horizon for the past 2 years, and then now it's like actually here, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. It's like it's been such a fun process making the album and getting it to this place, and it feels like you're coming up to the end of that chapter, not the album because we take it on tour and all that, but the build up and the excitement is really fun. So but saying that, I am like sick of the songs just being on my laptop, so I'm excited for them to be out in the world. I feel good.
You're at a point now just like, can this just come out now? We've been looking at it all the time. I guess it's always like, it's like on the horizon all the time. You're like, okay, we'll release this track, but then the album will come. That'll be later, right?
That's ages away.
That's ages away.
Yeah.
And now here we are.
And now it's 2 days away.
now it's 2 days.
Wild.
Yeah. I guess, does it feel almost like, I don't know, like, how does it feel? Because obviously, you're someone who's put out a number of albums like previously, and you've kind of like done that. How does it feel being in this position where it's coming out and it's kind of this new chapter kind of like for you in a lot of ways? Like, how does that feel like, in comparison, really?
To previous ones? Again, like it's different. It feels slightly different. There's a lot of things that like there's similarities, and I love doing albums because they're like big bookmarks in your life, and you can look back on them. And it does feel like the album is essentially the past 2 years of my life wrapped up, which is cool. But I think there was a bit of an adjustment period to doing it by myself. Yeah. I feel like I've settled into that now, and I'm not like looking to my left and right to palm questions off anymore, which is quite good. Yeah. Because in the first few interviews, I'd be like, what do you think?
Oh, yes.
It's all on me.
Yes. It's me in this room now. Yeah. Shit.
But I'm excited, man. And like, I'm proud of the songs, and the fans have been amazing the whole way. So I'm just looking forward to getting it out, letting the fans live with it for a bit, and then taking it on tour. Yeah. So it's good, man. I'm excited.
Yeah. Does it feel kind of, because it is kind of like you, like kind of like you as well, like, it's just me, like, not a sense there's another, like a level of, I don't want to say like nervousness, but it's almost just like, it is just me, and these are the songs that are just me. Like,
like there's a different level of like, I don't want to say pressure or responsibility, but I think you put it on yourself because you're like, for me now, I'm so used to working I have been so used to working in a collective.
Yes,
So standing behind something that has a name, aside from all of our names. So it's like, you're working for this like almost external thing.
It's like its own entity, basically.
We sit under that name almost. So doing it under my name, I think it's quite exciting in a way, because it means that, one, I feel like I've got to be more honest, I've got to be more like vulnerable in a lot of ways, because I think you owe that to the fans and to myself. So it's been like a nice period of learning new things. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to do it as a challenge more than anything as well, and be like, how am I gonna adapt to this.
Yeah.
So the whole process has been like adapting and challenging myself, and I've really enjoyed it, to be honest. Like, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. As you've relearned many.
Honestly, I feel like I've just done like, is it CBT therapy? I feel like I've just done that for the past like 2 years and rewired my brain.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Yeah. That's what you need as you grow older.
Yeah.
Like, sure. Let's just try
change
this
it
all.
up.
Yeah. Let's try completely everything now. Nice. I guess you did mention briefly, I guess, this like vulnerability as well. Like, was that kind of where I guess a lot of these songs kind of came from for you in terms of like, in terms of writing, not to say maybe writing differently, because if you've kind of got your own kind of like way of writing and that's something you've always had, but like, did you kind of like almost, was it a case of almost allowing yourself to be maybe more vulnerable in places, or like how was that kind of?
Yeah, definitely like push myself. It's not like my go-to.
Yes.
To be like, here's all my trauma.
Yeah.
It's not like,
have a listen.
Yeah, I'm like quite bad at that, and especially when you're writing. For a long time I used to write, and I'd write with the boys, but you'd bounce around studio sessions with new people.
Yes, of course.
A lot, which I think is, it feels like it's slightly changed in the ethos towards songwriting in general, of being like, people will build smaller teams. A lot of people will write within bands or by themselves, but if you're branching out, people will build a small team of people that they really trust.
Yeah.
And that's what I did on this album, and I think it allowed me to be a bit more vulnerable, because I'm like in the room with the same, it was a guy called Boots who I did all the album with.
Yeah.
And that was nice because I really trusted him, and we got to a place where it's like, some days we'll write a tune, sometimes we'll just chat for like a day, which feels like a waste of studio time. But it all kind of fed into that, a really good space to write an album. So it was a lot easier to be vulnerable this time around, I think, for me, because I had that kind of sounding board in Boots.
Yeah. You had someone to like, again, it's like bouncing off someone still in that kind of like environment. Yeah. I was like, you kickstarted this sort of like 100 Club on a live front.
Yes, yeah.
How was that kind of going from, I guess, kind of like, this brand new, don't say brand new version of you, because that makes it sound like you've kind of like
shaved my head, which wouldn't be good for anyone.
Which is happening tonight on stage, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming up now.
No, I've not even thought about it, because I know I haven't got the head shape for it. Do you know when you know?
Have you ever done those like, when you do those filters which can like make you bald? Yeah. I've done one of those.
How is it?
It's horrendous.
But you've got the beard and the stuff you see, so at least you've got something going on.
Yeah.
On the flip side,
I feel like I would just kind of meld in with like about 50 other blokes. Like, I would not stand out in any way at that point. It'd be like, where's Jamie? He's in this crowd somewhere. Yeah.
Jamie.
So it's understandable not to maybe shave the head. But but I guess shaving the head musically live. Let's go with that. Was that experience quite, I guess, like affirming in a lot of ways? Because it's like, right, this is what I'm doing now, and this is it, and kind of doing that in such like a small setting as well. Like can you look back on those shows in particular for like a real like, okay, this is like not I guess a turning point. Really.
It felt like the best way to start it off. And you're right, it did feel like a bit of a turning point, because like the writing process was amazing, and I felt like stuff was happening, it was changing. But I think until you step out with all of these songs and the things that you've worked on, you don't really know like the best way to do it and how it's going to be most like impactful or effective, or even to the crowd, but also personally, like it's going to make you feel like there's been a real change. And I think the 100 Club did that 100%, because we did 4 nights in there. I've never really done a residency. I'd never played there. I went and saw Paolo Nutini about 3 years. 3 years ago in there. And I was just like, this venue is fucking awesome. So cool.
It is,
And also the history of it. And we got to know like the owners really well, because we were in there like all week. Got to pour my own pint of Guinness.
Shout out to Ruby and Matt. Ruby and Matt, Ruby and Matt, long time friends of the show. At this point,
and Ruby was telling us about how it's like a generational. It's just been passed down. And I was like, this is so cool to kind of step into that history. And then the bands that have come through there, and you feel like a weight of responsibility. So all of that, I was like, this is exactly how I wanted the solo project to start.
Yeah.
It was in something different. Like I feel like I've got some boots to fill.
Yeah.
By stepping into this room. And it kind of changed how the show went in terms of presenting the music. Like it really was a big moment, those first 4 shows, and it kind of influenced how the rest of the campaign.
Kind of where you are today, basically. Yeah. Well, you mentioned like, so I guess like those bands that have come through, but you mentioned like, you know, I think you've mentioned before about like this love of like Queens of the Stone Age, or like, you know, I guess Nirvana and some of those kind of like influences coming through as well. Like, was that when you kind of like first started kind of like, I guess, piecing together what a kind of album for you is going to look like? Like, did you have those kind of like clear things in mind, or did it feel like it very much just almost fell into itself in a lot of ways?
A little bit. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I knew I had to.
That you wanted to try, kind of. Yeah.
Because I grew up on that, and that's what really got me into music as like a fan, and then also wanting to like learn guitar off the back of those bands.
I
was like, it feels right to kind of go back to that, especially because it's something that I've loved but I've never explored.
Yes.
So let's go into this, taking influence from those artists, but I kind of wanted to do my own version of those things and weave them into what I've learned over the past 10 years. And I still think like throughout the album, there's a lot of like pop sensibilities in the songwriting.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like the world that I've been in. And hopefully learned a lot from the other writers that I've worked with over the past 10 years. But then have that kind of other side of me that I can be like, I've always enjoyed this, but I've never got the chance to showcase it. And hopefully dress up these songs that are a bit more vulnerable and a bit more honest in this kind of slightly more rocky alternative leaning setting that feels like, again, authentic and something that I can stand behind and be proud of. So but it took a minute to get there. Like, there was a lot of experimenting before I landed on something. It was Cry at the Moon, the first single. Was the one where I was like, oh, this is exactly how I want to sound.
Yes, you're like that is exactly
it.
Yeah,
it's good.
And it always takes some time almost to like step out of kind of everything you've kind of done before, because I guess as well you've kind of like develop habits, right? I guess especially if you've like, you know, you've been in a band for such a long period of time and you've kind of been doing this for a long, like, you know, a period of time and playing shows and doing like that. It's almost just like
muscle memory.
What happens if I just change these around a bit?
Yeah 100%. But it's like you say, it's quite hard to do that. It's just so ingrained. You're like, how do I go about this in the right way? So it was like unlearning, relearning, trial and error, but I spent a good few months before I felt like, right, I'm into a rhythm and I know exactly where I want to go now. But I think a lot of people tend to do that, and I think every album you kind of have to do that, I guess, if you're looking to reinvent. So it was fun. It was a fun process.
Nice. And especially as well, I guess, putting that out there and seeing the reaction as well. Like, how was that for you? I guess even with those first few tracks, I guess, because I guess you're kind of just like, right, I'm kind of putting this out here, kind of what I've been kind of like working on and doing in a lot of ways. And it's like you say, kind of like, maybe it depends. Do people expect that from me or do they not? Like, I guess like how was that reaction? Like,
it was, I was bricking it beforehand. So I was so nervous. The most nervous I've been in years to kind of put anything out into the world. And to be honest, I've gotten into this place and I'm still there now where I kind of try my best not to look at stuff once it's out, because I think past then I've got no control over anything.
It's got it's out there now.
It's in the ether. So I've just kind of released it, but overall, like the feedback was really cool and like good, and even like people who've been fans of the band, a lot of them were really into it and engaged with it. And then also like seeing new people and new faces off the back of that first single was like really interesting. It was fun because I wanted to do that. I wanted to like bring the people who have known me for the band along for the journey, and then I also was like wanted to reach some new people as well. So that's why I chose that song. But it didn't take away from the fact that I was shitting.
it was a fun day. Yeah.
God.
Where you're just like, it is out, right? Yeah, okay.
Sure, okay. I'm gonna lock myself in a room now.
Yeah.
I don't speak to anyone.
It's like, how's he doing? Just don't ask. He's over there.
He's fine.
He's fine. Look at him, he's smiling. Just there, like shaking. Just like, yeah, really good, mate. Having a great time. Amazing. Well, and obviously, yeah. Now people listen to this. Obviously, the album is out, and kind of like you say, it's kind of like you're talking about the next kind of like step, and obviously like the tour and stuff, and kind of like getting that out there. Like, is that for you where kind of those songs just breathe even more? Right, in a sense, and that's in kind of like the next few like months for you is just like, right, I want to really let these songs kind of get out there and reach that audience.
100%. And like number one, I love playing live. Like, it's my favorite thing. But then you can also have a bit of fun with the songs and kind of play around with structure or kind of embellish them a bit more for a live setting. So I'm looking forward to that. And we did a UK run last year and a couple of European shows, and I got to put this tour together myself, like a MD tour, which again I love doing, but it shouldn't for my mental health be doing it, because the 2 weeks before everyone's like, have you done the set? And I'm like, yeah, it's all up here,
yeah. It's all up here. Where's the set list? Right here, right up top. Don't you worry, it's there, it's coming.
But I'm looking forward to it as well, because it's like the album in full, and I always love.
Yeah.
I used to love going and watching artists, and they play like it's like the album. And you step into the album a bit, like when I watched Paolo at 100 Club, he was doing the last album, which name Through the Echoes, I believe.
Yes,
was that the names actually, but he did that album in full, and it's like, I'm excited for fans to step into like the Panic Years as an album live, so they've listened to it and taken it in. But I want to create a space where come have a good time, listen to the album, like leave any troubles at the door for an hour and a half, and just come in and have a good time. That's what I'm trying to create. So it should be fun. Fingers crossed.
So
see how it goes.
It is open. Anyway, we are going to listen to one such track from the album now. This is Carpet Burn by you.
By me.
By you.
Oh, thanks, man.
Flew there to spend the weekend. I flew there overnight. You made a friend while I asked for another cigarette. He asked me how long's it been. But I don't know myself. I like the people here. I tell them while I'm staring at you. Every moment I get, but it gets me down that I didn't know you before we met. I'll take all the time we got left.
And there it is.
Thank you.
There it is. Incredible. By the way, we've just suddenly gone to whisper now.
There it is.
And there it is. Smooth FM. Smooth radio. That's
jazz version of Carpet Burn.
Yeah. Get ready for the Redux coming soon. Yeah. You were talking about the tracks changing and embellishing. It's gonna. Just you wait. Just you wait.
Yeah. I'm talking double bass.
Yeah. The whole way through.
Saxophones.
Amazing. Well, because we are we're on this show because we are here in this grand setting with the amazing chandelier, which I
is nice, isn't it?
Never referenced.
Like the glittery wall.
Yes, the glittery wall is
the mirror ball, the off-center mirror ball.
Which for effect, the little off center.
Just slightly off.
Yeah, there's a little touch on that. Yeah, the furry wall. This is it.
Yeah, it's all going on. I like it.
Yeah. This is what is the next chapter. It's this room.
This is the room that I need to sit in.
Yeah.
For the next chapter. More. You know what? As far as dressing rooms go, this is a absolute banger.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'm into it.
It is. Walk in. Also, if you get bored, you can just do karaoke. So
okay.
Yeah. The screen is a little karaoke. The little lights you can change around.
Sack the gig off. Just get everyone in there. Should we just do karaoke?
Yeah. I won't tell anyone if you don't. And I said, I don't know. He'll be out in a bit.
Literally 5 minutes.
Yeah, don't worry. Just 1 second. Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah. Sorry, he's just pit beaming Rhapsody. It's going to be 8 minutes. It's 8 minutes. Shit. Whilst we're here, because it was this show as well, we're going to play a bit of a game.
Nice.
To get the real lowdown from yourself on the Panic Years.
Cool.
And because you have an album called That, which is out right now. we want to ask, what's going to make you panic? What's kind of like throwing you off? But what's also you like really happy with? You're fine with, you're grand. So we're going to give you two options, two situations, and we want to know which one you're going to be like, that's too much panic. Yeah, that's got to go.
Stressing me out.
Think of this as like it's clearing out. We're clearing those out the way.
Got you. So we're just in meditation, chill.
That's yes.
No panic.
No panic. So let's start with one, shall we? What's gonna make you panic more? Getting home and finding all your furniture missing, or getting home and finding 45 cats hanging out?
I'm just gonna go with my gut.
Yeah, no,
that's okay.
Go for it.
Furniture would be a nightmare, don't get me wrong, and is beds included in
beds
that?
included. I think that's in the furniture scenario.
It does come under that.
So you've just walked in and it's an empty
there.
Home. Yeah.
Pain. Absolute pain. You're well annoyed. However, did you say 40 cats?
45.
45.
So there's a big difference.
Could have done 40.
Yeah, could have done 40, mate. Yeah, no problem.
No, I've got a real thing about cats. Like,
is it?
They scare me, man. Like, I don't trust them.
Dogs are you?
Love dogs.
All into dogs.
Yeah, big fan of dogs, but cats. Didn't grow up with cats. They are so... I don't know. They're so fine on their own.
Yeah, there's a level of confidence that
crazy.
Actually is quite intimidating.
Yeah. That's what it is. They intimidate me. Like, I wish one day to have that level of like independence, but I'm not there. And the fact that 45 of them,
45 of them as well. Yeah.
No, I think I'd rather sleep on the floor for a night.
You could probably make do. Yeah. Because this is it. You can resolve these situations, but like,
what am I going to do?
What are you going to do with 45 cats?
What do I give them away? Do I have these cats for the rest of my life?
You've got loads of furniture, but
hellish.
The cats are all over them. So
exactly. Yeah.
That's the thinking. All right, that's a very understandable. Okay, the 45 cats. That's a strong. That's a strong panic. Yeah, sorry to any cat lovers, but I think you actually understand the reasoning completely. There.
Fair, yeah.
How about your favourite TV show being cancelled, or your favourite film getting a really bad sequel?
Oh, I think the sequel. Because I've got a thing like. Got a lot of favourite TV series that have either been cancelled.
Yeah.
The ones that have been cancelled, I'm like, I can live in those first few series and they're amazing.
You're right, they're there. That's true.
And then also I've seen TV series go on too long where the last two series kind of...
call it
it's a shame.
It's a shame. Yeah. I'm not going to watch anymore. Yeah.
But the sequel thing just bugs me.
Has it ruined... like a movie before? Like, is it like, as in like, if you're thinking of like, a sequel comes out and you're like, I don't think I even like the first one as much anymore. Like, it's kind of like a shadow over it.
Yeah.
It
leaves a bad taste.
It leaves a bad taste
over the first one.
Yeah,
the only sequel that I can think that I loved potentially more than the original, I really liked Anchorman 2.
Oh, strong shout.
Like Anchorman 1, OG.
It's a legendary one. Yeah.
But then I did think Anchorman 2 was pretty good. He had some good moments in it. But in terms of bad sequels, I'm trying to think. What would you say is like a famously bad sequel?
I'm trying to think here. I didn't enjoy Zoolander 2.
I'm with you there. Yeah,
Zoolander,
and then I haven't gone back and watched Zoolander.
I haven't gone back and watched it.
And maybe that's because you're like,
I'm just reminded
yeah.
That was not as good.
That's a good example. Actually.
That's not as good as the first one.
Because before the sequel came out, Zoolander,
classic,
held in such high regard.
Iconic, yeah.
And then now, I haven't had a conversation about Zoolander 1 in years.
Yeah,
with anyone.
Here we are. This is it. And this is because of this. Yeah. I have a similar thing with. Have you seen the film Bad Boys?
Yes.
And Bad Boys.
First one
Great. Second one also good.
Yeah.
Then there was a break.
Yes.
The third one came in.
Was the third one the one that came out pretty recently?
That's a fourth one.
That's a fourth.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
I admire the Fast and Furious films.
Yes.
Aren't they on 25 now?
It's just like, it's another one coming.
Here we go.
Yeah. And the problem is they run out of things to do with cars now. So I mean, there was one where the car just flew at one point now. It's like, what we got left?
That's a plane, no?
Yeah. Look, I don't want to be, you know, I'm not an automotive expert.
You put a plane in it.
Yeah, but you put a plane in it. So, you know what? Understand what. So a favourite film getting a really bad sequel, that's the extra level of panic.
Yeah, that's going in the bin.
That's understandable. It's very good. How do you feel about the Muppets covering all of your songs at a gig, or you having to cover the Muppets' greatest hits?
I'd actually love to hear the Muppets cover all of my songs. Muppets, legendary.
If you're listening.
Yeah, please.
Kermit,
if you're tuned in.
If you're tuned in, I'd really appreciate it.
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, stopped in.
1,000,000%. That's a no-brainer.
The thing we've tried to get Kermit on the show before.
Right.
And you have to go, obviously, to Disney and be like, is Kermit around?
Free.
Is he free?
Was he busy?
Yeah. Is he a busy guy? And the email response I got back was that Kermit's unfortunately done all his press.
For life?
For a next considerable period.
Okay.
I guess if it was like, The Tonight Show, I think it'd probably come out. But he's not coming to Colours Hoxton.
It's kind of fair. He's just worked all his life as well. Do you know what I mean?
The work ethic on the man is ridiculous.
He needs a break.
Films, TV, chat shows. He's done it all. Music.
He's alive.
Yeah, exactly.
So I get that.
Yeah. So you're going for you having to cover the Muppets then is the panic.
Yeah, that gives me a lot of panic. I don't know how many songs I know off the top of my head.
And the pressure.
It's again like I don't want to let Kermit down, or any of them, or the franchise, the whole thing. I don't want to be the stain. Across the Muppets.
You're walking in the footsteps of giants.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's understandable.
Yeah, and also do I have to do it in my voice? Do I have to there's so many things that immediately give me panic.
Immediately it's happening right now. So understandable to the side. Probably got time for two more.
Cool.
So let me give you all food having the texture of jelly, or all food tasting like jelly.
Oh, that's a tough one.
So even when you're there here's a sandwich, you bite in, just jelly, just rubbing it around.
But then you, the other way,
yes,
you bite into the sandwich, it tastes, but you don't get any of the crunch. You don't get any of the that solid.
You get no solids.
So if it is a sandwich, for example, does it feel like jelly?
I believe it tastes like jelly, so it might still feel like a sandwich, which might throw you a little bit more. Because you're like, I'm expecting the sandwich, and all you're getting is just a bit of flubber.
A bit of flubber. I think I'd go texture of jelly, but taste like. Was that one of the options? Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, have all food having the texture of jelly.
But taste. I'd go texture of jelly, just purely because I think jelly. I don't know how much I eat jelly.
I haven't had jelly in a while.
Long time.
To be honest. I think school dinners might actually be one of my last
time.
Yeah.
But sometimes I would buy the blocks of jelly and just eat the blocks.
Yes. That is good. Or when people make those it's like the vodka jellies.
Yeah.
When people went on that sort of that run.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That
was simpler times. Simpler times.
Yeah,
we did really well then, and that's it. Right, I've got one more for you. So obviously understandable texture of jelly. We'll have to go with that. Yeah. Last one for you is having to do a TikTok dance trend, or having to do Strictly Come Dancing.
Ooh.
What's going to cause panic?
Oh.
Both are going to. I think a good starting point is, how are you as a dancer?
Not great.
Okay.
Not great. Not that I've tried too much. You know what I mean? I don't know. Is the honest answer.
We'll never know.
Who knows? But you know what? I think I'd actually go for. I think I'd go for Strictly, because I've seen some of the TikTok dances and I'm like, I know I could. Strictly, at least there's a support network around me. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, I get exactly what you mean. You're like, we're in this together.
Yeah.
You're dancing with someone as well. So you're in it.
Yeah, they're looking after me.
They're looking after you.
At least I kind of get dressed up as well. So it's like
Tess and Claudia, they'll be like, oh, nice one. Don't worry, mate. You'll be fine. Exactly, yeah.
So, but the TikTok dance, I'm on my own. It's cold. It's just me and a phone. I've got like try and imitate this dance with no one giving me any
guidance. Yeah.
So
it could go anywhere as well.
Yeah.
Like you could be doing anything. Like
God,
you doing the apple dance, it'll be all sorts.
Yeah,
no.
It strictly feels like a safe pair of hands. So I'd probably do that. It'd be bad, but
it'd be bad.
But maybe the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. And you never know. It also you get kind of training. Like,
exactly,
isn't it? So like, every week you're getting kind of trained.
Maybe better.
Maybe better.
Because I don't get voted off.
Yeah. Destroy your confidence in one go. Just like, do you know what, mate? It's not great. Like, this is a bad time for everybody. With the image of you appearing on Strictly Come Dancing and not getting voted off first, of course. Our time is up. We're looking forward to the show later. We could enter like it was a great show. And then, that was a good show.
Thank you.
That was a great show.
Thank you, sir. That was fun.
Thank you very much. It's very good fun. The album, very sweaty. Yes, it was. Yeah, it's pouring off him now. He's sweating. He's unbelievable. Yeah, he shaved his head. It's chaos.
It looks awful.
But yes, thank you very much, Bradley. Obviously,
thanks, dude.
Debut album out now. Go listen now. Pause this and go listen to that.
Turn this off.
Yeah, turn this off. Thank you, please. I've been trying this for years. We're going to listen to Cry at the Moon now.
Awesome.
So listen to that now. But Bradley, thank you very much.
Thanks, Dave. Pleasure.
There goes Bradley Simpson. What a lovely man. What a lovely man.
The reason I wasn't there is because I am Bradley Simpson.
Yeah, he was here. Jake was actually in the queue to buy tickets to see Pitbull on his return.
No, I'm not here.
You're not here? Oh, yes.
I'm at Primavera Porto, I believe.
Well, who's the winner?
Gussing.
Who's the winner here? Yeah.
Whoever gets to see Pitbull is obviously the winner.
Whoever gets to see Pitbull. But thank you to Bradley Simpson. As mentioned, what an amazing show at Colours. Absolutely rammed out. Chaos.
Rammed out.
And
that's not a phrase.
Rammed out, packed out, slammed out. Whatever you want to say. But let's move on to some new tracks, shall we?
This week we've decided to get some fresh new artists in. I'm going to talk about Sports Team, and James is going to talk about Chloe Qisha. So,
we never mentioned them.
I hope you liked that the last 15 times we did it.
It's for the 150th, episode. We want to bring back some favourites,
Yeah, of course. I forgot it was 150th again.
We still forget. We're still on the show.
I know. It just feels so normal. Sports Team have released a new single, Maybe When We're 30, which it's good. It's a good song. It's nice. It's one of the sort of
That's all he has to say. That's all he has to say. This is the track.
Songs.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep talking. Keep talking. It's more, more slower, more contemplative, but the lyrics are still very, very sports teamy. Does listening to this remind you of when you turned 30, Jamie?
Yes, that's exactly it. Because I was watching the War on Drugs, apparently.
Yeah, once a year.
Once a year. This is if you'd have said that Sports Team would do basically like a very like reflective, emotional ballad at any point in their career, I would have been like, what happened? Like what
they've got
series of events happened?
They've got kind of form on stuff like Light Industry, Long Hot Summer, I guess to some extent. These kind of more reflective songs. I do enjoy that, like, I think because they're aging at the same rate that you and I are, it feels quite relatable. Like Rob says in the quote about it, like, you start off in a band, you feel like Slums McKenzie, the Futurama party slug. And then one morning you look around and all your friends are getting married and you think maybe all I really want is to grow old and get a dog and write horrible things about Brooklyn Beckham on Facebook and go on cruises and have petty disputes with my neighbours about whether the council recycles cardboard. Now, I would like to point out that of course they recycle cardboard. It's glass that varies from local authority.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to go to a glass bin. Sometimes they will take it curbside. So that's just something to think about, guys. Cardboard is always fine. Don't get put off put your cardboard in the recycling.
If anyone's listening to this show right now and is like, man, what kind of insights are we getting? You're getting information that is very needed as you get older. Recycling is important, guys. Keep to it.
It is. Well, plastic recycling doesn't actually work, so I don't know what to do about that.
I heard a rumor that basically you listened to this song and you heard about all your friends getting married, and that's why you proposed.
Yes.
Is that correct? Is that
well, I'm 30, and I thought maybe when I'm 30, I'll still be taking life advice from Rob Nags of Sports Team, who on announcing I got engaged commented, what did he comment? Like, congratulations, big boy, I believe was the...
Oh, this is actually good. Yeah, if you look at the post, was there any other great comments there that you got through from certain band members?
I think that was the main one. What did I get? What we got here? This is just me flexing my connections in the music industry,
because that's what you want to bolster your engagement announcement.
It is. Rob put congrats, big boy. I think really what we should focus on is the fact that you wrote, once upon a time there was a boy who loved a girl and her laughter was a question he wanted to spend his whole life answering. Now life awaits.
Emotional.
You don't have to answer laughter, do you? Am I doing it wrong?
Think about it. Just think about it. That's for you. That's for you two. That I thought, what can I say in this glorious moment? And you can live with that now. I'll put it in a card as well, just so you've got it on file. Wouldn't want you to lose that.
Thank you so much.
This song is great. This song is great.
It is. This is maybe when this is maybe when we're 30 by Sports Team.
Watch the war on drugs. Maybe when we're 30, baby, we can get it done. And once a year we'll go out and we'll watch the war on drugs. It's what you need. Maybe when we're 70 and the rain gets to our legs, whisk you off on cruises or take you off on cruises.
A wonderful tune. Wonderful tune. Maybe we'll play.
Kind of forgot we were even talking about that.
No, yeah, really
which
great.
is, what you want from a song.
Shall I talk about some other new music?
Yep, that's how it goes.
Let's talk about current Dork cover stars, Black Country New Road.
Why is your leg so high in the air?
Oh yeah, you can't see it. Sorry, I'm just stretching.
He's pulling on the cuff of his trouser to stretch his leg.
Just kind of got to lift it up like that sort of way. Sorry.
We should start filming this like the webcams they have at like Radio 1.
I don't think anyone wants that.
No one wants to hear Radio 1 either, but they still do it.
This is enough. You're getting the audio. You don't want the visuals.
No one needs
it. Black Country New Road have put out a brand new track, and it's called Happy Birthday. This is great. So Black Country New Road, like, I think we've talked about them a little bit, and I think there's almost a perception of what Black Country New Road
are. Well, the issue with Black Country New Road that you haven't talked about them a lot is because we don't like jazz. And I'm happy to report that the new stuff's good.
It's a shift in their sound. Like they really have. They kind of shifted up, and I think we kind of heard that a little bit. I mean, obviously, they've had this kind of like obviously lineup changes with kind of like Isaac used to be like kind of the lead singer, and him leaving, and they went and obviously did a show at Bush Hall, which they put out as a live album, and that kind of gave the first indicators, I think, anyway, of like maybe this direction they were going, which was a little bit more. I don't want to say like mass appeal, because that makes it sound like they're trying to like sell out and be commercial.
It's more accessible
and
also,
is exactly it. Yeah,
they've kind of drifted, but they've kept they're still very obviously Black Country New Road, and it is just kind of like it's that band that I kind of wish they were when I first listened, because there's always been stuff in there that's been enjoyable, but it was just a bit too, I guess, kind of like bit too like introspective in a way of like it was very clearly like some people who are all very enthusiastic about the same stuff
and talented and very talented, clearly,
and sort of geeing each other up to like go like deeper and further into stuff, and it always felt to me that I was like, whoa, I haven't had the starter course in whatever this is.
You just
I get what dropped you mean. Right in the middle of it, and I mean a lot of people love them, and like obviously if you're into those kind of genres they were pulling from, but to me the newer stuff actually sounds a bit more like this is like easing you in. I feel like you could almost listen to the new stuff loads and loads and then go back to the first album and be like, oh, okay, this is more like, I understand this a bit more now. I know the reference points. I know what to kind of look out for. Whereas I always found it was too abrasive for me. There was too much soup there.
But the influence they've had has been crazy, and you can see that across so many bands. And like, I think this is kind of almost a new dialed-in version of Black Country New Road, and we kind of heard that on the first track they put out called Besties, and now Happy Birthday, you can hear that as well. Just the fact that it feels so collaborative now, which obviously it always was, but it kind of feels more so now. And you kind of saw that.
Do you think there's going to be a lot of people, you know, when people, like, you're in the office or whatever, it's someone's birthday, and they're like, oh, put Happy Birthday on the speaker and bring the cake out. And like, you sometimes you get the Stevie Wonder version or whatever. I feel like there's going to be there's a non-zero chance that like in like the land registry office, it'll be like Deborah's 60th birthday, and they'll whack this on by mistake. Yeah.
Maybe, but also would love to see the reaction. Also, really keep you on your toes.
That's true. And if there's one thing you need to be when selecting the office birthday song, it's on your toes.
Also, is that what happens in offices? Like they'll whack on the like Happy Birthday over the speakers. Like it's not. This is not like a Frankie and Benny's where like people sat there and they bring out the cake. And,
I've worked in numerous public sector roles, and that's what they do. Well, you're in a cool and dynamic music department agency, you're listening to Sean Keaveney play a new song on Six Music, man.
That's exactly what
you're
I'm
listening
doing.
To Mumbaton from Belize, from Lauren Laverne, you're listening to Marianne Hobbs playing a noise track from 1987.
Anyway, when we play Happy Birthday in the office,
I'm listening to Heart Club classics, Jamie, with the real people.
Fuck's sake! Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so distant from civilization in my little bubble. Heaven forbid.
Look, I just get out your ivory tower and listen to Black Country New Road with Happy Birthday.
Here it is.
Child, your world's not tearing apart, though you broke its heart. Many people would give an arm and a limb to live where you live. It's not your fault we don't.
That's what we play.
Stole your thunder there. That, of course, that's what you've been playing since.
That's what we play. That's what we play in the office. Yeah. When we get a Happy Birthday. Really good stuff.
that was your one to queue up, so I apologise. You can queue this one up later if you want to make up for it.
Thanks. Yeah, tag me in.
HotWax's debut album is out. We're going to play Strange to Be Here from the album, but really, this is just a secret way to talk about the fact that the album is out. One of those bands that came through, I'd say, along with Picture Parlour, doing a sold-out show for Dork, out on the waiting list now.
That.
But yeah, I think there was a real burst of these kind of I guess female indie bands at one time, and a lot of like lazy features did lump them together like I just did there. But I think genuinely, like, as time's gone by, like the Last Dinner Parties album came out, now this album is out, and the tracks the Picture album putting out, they're three like massively different bands that are all drawing from this sense of kind of not being scared of riffs, I think is like part of it. And I think this HotWax album really does show that, where it is that kind of unironic music. There's no sheen of I'm cleverer than this, I'm better than this. It is just like, this just sounds really, really good. And it does remind me in a way of early Black Honey, and some of the like earlier even early now, like Band of Skulls stuff as well. There is just a kind of if it sounds good, do it sort of thing to it, which I really enjoy.
There's that freedom that's a bit more like associated. I think that's definitely been what's kind of taken HotWax kind of through that. It's whenever you've seen them live, it's just like, do you know what? Here it is. It's in your face. It's there. And then and writing incredible songs. I mean, like, this album is what, 30 minutes long? It's 10 tracks.
Just under. Yeah, it's just an absolute blast through.
Which is great. I love that. I love the fact that it's just like bang, like here it is all in one go, which kind of matches when you see them live. Like I like the fact that it's such a just an emphatic kind of like opening statement.
And also, I mean, they've been. I didn't realize. I mean, I kind of knew that. I didn't piece it together, but they've been releasing singles for a few years now.
Yeah.
And they are like early 20s, you know?
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing that, like, you know, you do get teenage bands sometimes that do get overhyped too soon and it doesn't work out. So I think to have stayed the course and got this album out, for this album to be as good as it is, and as kind of uncompromised as it is on their sound, is genuinely, you know, an achievement in itself. Even better that it is just half an hour of very good fun.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that also is just like, I think you kind of mentioned that there. They've not tried to overthink it. And I think that's just really good, because I think some bands you can end up kind of like losing your way a little bit by trying to be something else and trying to be like another band that's around or whatever that might be. Whereas actually they've gone, we're good at this, bang.
Especially on a debut album when it is like, oh, everyone's there like, well, it's got to be a statement of who you are.
It's got to be like this.
You know?
It's got to be like this. I mean, this is doing really fucking well. Go and do this. Whereas actually, this is this is really, really great, and it's brilliant to see that they've kind of distilled it so well, all in one spot. So good fun. Riffs as well. Great.
Riffs as well.
We like
do you want to cue this one up, Jamie?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, this is too kind. This is HotWax with "Strange to Be Here." That was great. I felt
it was exciting.
It was a little bit. I was like, I shouldn't be doing this, but you know, here I am.
Jesus, what, like a Maltesers advert from the early 2000s?
For fuck's sake. Speaking of acts,
Maltesers adverts.
yeah, close this. Yeah, Chloe Qisha's got a brand new track out. I feel like on every single show we've had recently, all I've done is come on here and talk about the new Chloe Qisha song.
You do love Chloe Qisha. I guess in your defense, they're very good.
They are very good. It's hard to not. So this song is called Sex, Drugs and Existential Dread, which, again, a continuation of everything we've heard so far from Chloe, just in terms of this no-nonsense, just really infectious pop done incredibly well, while still kind of like pushing at that boundary a bit. Like it almost sounds this almost like pulls at like, I don't know, like In Excess and like 90s sort of like kind of like that sort of like slick rock sort of sound, but also with that sort of dancey edge. It is, again, another absolute banger. I don't need to say how much I think Chloe Qisha is a star waiting to kind of go massive. But I've said it there.
The sex and the drugs and the existential dreads all at once. One maneuver.
No,
a sexy goodbye.
I think that is the soundtrack of an evening. I think that's the idea.
So sex first.
Yes.
And then drugs.
Yeah.
And then existential dread.
Yeah.
So realistically, you've had sex. So after sex, you're probably going to want to relax. So you're not taking an upper.
No.
That rules them out.
Here we go. What is this? The drug fucking helpline on down
probably taking a downer of some kind. Yeah. I would say you've either smoked some weed there, or you've taken too much ketamine and you're K-holing.
Right. So
that's where the existential dread comes from. Chloe, if you're listening, could you please let me know? Can you let me know if I'm on the money there?
Yeah, I mean the existential dread, you know. You can do it all from your bed is the idea, but
existential bed.
I find the existential dread you can just kind of do whenever.
Sex and drugs in your existential bed.
Existential dread bed, as you will.
Dread bed.
The dread bed.
Judge dread bed.
Judge dread bed. This is a massive tune, and we're going to play it now. This is Chloe Qisha with Sex, Drugs, and Existential Dread.
Comfort of your bed. Sex, drugs, and existential dread. There's people everywhere you go. There's people in the bars. There's people on the motorways driving little people cars. There's people walking animals. There's people doing sports. There's people kissing other people. What the hell is that for? Come on inside.
Good shit.
Good shit. And now the actual album.
Yes.
After two fake albums.
We've been very sneaky in sliding in these albums at various points. But now we're actually at the point of the show where we are meant to be talking about an album, and the album we're talking about
we're going to drive to Goldhammer, aren't we, JB?
We are with Divorce, who put out their debut album.
I've never looked it up. Where's Goldhammer?
What Goldhammer? Are you having a look now? I can see you.
Yeah.
We're looking at.
Please talk about the album while I look it up.
Entertain yourselves. Yeah, it's good. Done. Here's the track. Divorce are a band with, obviously, friends of the show has been on. They were on our live truck special, talking about the fact that they measure everything in eggs, no matter what that might be. A band who just a really, really great band. And I think it's this kind of weird, this warm bond that they kind of have between themselves, which has kind of like really made them stand out ever since kind of like the first track they put out. They kind of like, again, like not that Nottingham scene, I think is quite important to reference kind of like within this, because I feel like Nottingham as a city and that kind of, I don't know, maybe just that sense of spirit within it has kind of helped lead to them to where they are today. This kind of combination of, I guess, like their starts in various forms in kind of like more like folky and acoustic projects, between kind of like, I guess, Tiger and Felix in particular, who obviously share vocals throughout the album. That kind of bond, I feel it really sits at, I guess, like the heart of the whole entire album. It feels like an album which is born out of just incredible songwriting at the center, and then pushing that in all their different forms throughout the whole entire record. Like some tracks are kind of more, I guess, heavy, for lack of a term. Some tracks are way more stripped back. Some tracks are a little bit more almost spinny pop, like electronic.
Well,
in
I
elements.
was saying to you, some of the more acoustic-y stuff reminds me of, I don't know if anyone will remember this, but Villagers, which for anyone who doesn't know them, is kind of like that real kind of acoustic, folky kind of stuff. And then, yeah, I mean, the heavier end of it, couldn't be further away from that. So I think you've got dual vocals there. You've got like these 2 or 3 different sounds on there, and it still manages to be a cohesive album. And also, I really, really enjoy this album for, again, like we were saying about HotWax, like this really does feel like the Divorce album that we kind of hoped for.
Yeah.
It really feels like they have had the freedom to do it. I can't find a place called Goldhammer. There is a mine called Goldhammer Mine in Colorado, or there's Goldhammer Construction in Eltham, southeast London.
So do you want well, so you think it might be about this construction business? Is that what you're trying to say?
Or a mine in Colorado.
Yeah. One of the two. Well, what's quite interesting is it's not about the destination, Jake. It's about the drive. That's what it is. It's about the experience.
In which case, for me, it'd be about going down the M1 and then clockwise around the M25 to Epping, and then going in via Chigwell and Woodford into sort of central Hackney, skirting around the edge of Victoria Park, through the Blackwall Tunnel, down past the O2, and then into Eltham, which is a hell of a journey. I mean, traffic dependent. I guess you'd see some good sights there. There would be a lot of stop-start, so it makes sense that some of it's more acoustic and some of it's heavier. I mean, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
Is it all connecting now, the album with you? Like, even more so? That kind of like bond is there?
Annoyingly, the drive would be 1 hour and 44 minutes, though, so...
Repeats. You can put it on repeat. That's not a problem.
I think you could probably work out...
this album is worth repeats.
It's 44 minutes long. So you could probably work out a circumference around Goldhammer Construction that would take you exactly that long, which I imagine is what Divorce want us to do.
I'm sure.
Let's play one of the songs from it before I completely go insane.
This is one of your favourites, Jake.
Oh, yeah. So this is, we were talking about this. This is my favourite of the album, which is one of the singles, which just goes to prove that I am correct in thinking it's one of my favourites because it's one of the ones that's good. This one was released a while ago, though. So, we were like, do we include it? But we do, because it's our show and we'll do what we want. This is Hangman by Divorce.
I won't make you wait. I won't make you wait. Let's play hangman again. I don't know if you want to. I don't know what you'd rather do, man. Let's play hangman again. I don't know if you want to. I don't know
glad that you've given a guide to how to listen to the album on the drive to this construction site. Yeah. I'm sure that is the takeaway. I
don't even know if it's a construction site. I think it might be the headquarters of a construction firm.
So like the offices. Yeah. Do you reckon in those offices, when it's somebody's birthday, they play Happy Birthday by Stevie Wonder or Happy Birthday by Black Country New Road?
To be honest, it looks more to me like they would play Happy Birthday like by a completely unnamed person who's just trying to do the classic.
Like an Elvis impersonator comes in. Like, you know, when you go
like
one of those like restaurants,
like
and he's there.
Rough. You know,
like one of those places.
Birthday.
Who's the boss? Who's the boss there?
I don't know. Someone's dodgy in it. It's probably it's like one of the Cray twins' nephews or something.
Yeah. He's never in. He's never in the office.
When he is, it's someone's birthday.
He's on call. He comes in every week or so. The office manager is keeping the place, together. We respect that sort of journey.
I saw Divorce recently. I said this on last show or the show before, so not that recently, I guess, but recently enough. And yeah, live. Obviously, they've always been very, very good. Festivals, etc. We've seen them, but I do think that it was kind of like lead up to the album, and there is almost a kind of coherence there, or like a cohesiveness, where it does feel like they have come on. They're kind of stepped up a level now into like, a not pre-debut album anymore. Like you do watch them, and it is like they were headlining.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They were headlining this ceremony. Something. It was like basically it was an all-dayer, and they were headlining.
Yeah.
Obviously, at this point, they're pre-album. They're quite buzzy, but you would see them on the second stage at a lot of places and be like, yeah, that makes sense. And they really did they made that set work, and they made it completely make sense, and they sounded really tight and really slick. And it really was like you were watching it and you were like, yeah, I mean, this is a huge band. And I hope that translates after this debut to kind of bigger stages, bigger venues and that, because they deserve it. And also they absolutely, kick the doors in when they play them. So
yeah, exactly. That kind of that kind of element of, it sounds really shit, but like a band being a band very well on album. Like it's one of those, it's like, this feels so in tune with everything they do. Even like you say, when it goes from like stripped back raw, just like piano or acoustic like guitar, into even like glitching elements and like absolute like heavy breakdowns, like it all,
and to make none of that together feel out of place is very impressive.
And I guess that it comes from that kind of, I guess,
because it's not a slow build. It's not like it starts acoustic and gets they go back and forth between the two, and it does. I don't know how they make it work, but they really do. So I guess they're just very talented, aren't they?
Yeah, it kind of feels like an album that like has almost been, those songs have been there for ages in a way. Like it kind of feels like they've almost become like these sort of like, cult classics that like people have known for ages, because they feel so immediate and like warm. Like it doesn't feel like, oh, listen to this brand new thing, what do you make of this? It like actually feels like they've been like lived in, if that makes sense. Like it really does. So an amazing record from Divorce, and I genuinely think will sit as like one of the best debut albums of the year. Like absolutely stunning, and great to see from great people as well. So we're gonna listen to another track from the album called Lord. This one isn't out. Well, it is out now, but it was new-ish, so it counts, right?
It counts.
It counts. I saw them play this song live at, I think it was Islington Assembly, like the last London show they headlined. I mean, they're going on to play massive venues kind of like from now, and I think that's going to continue onwards. But they played that here, and I was just like, oh wow, and it kind of like clicked for me even more so that like, oh, this band are really, really special. So enjoy. This is Lord by Divorce, not Divorce by the superstar Lord, but Lord by Divorce. There you go. Great album. And
that's it.
You
Three
now
albums. Shoehorned in.
You know where Goldhammer HQ is now.
You do.
That's a win.
3 albums crowbarred into a template that really didn't fit them. So thanks for bearing with us for that.
Yeah, but think of all the music you can now see. There's so
Think
fucking much
of
of them.
all the music.
Think of all of that. Come on, it's
Imagine
great.
all the music.
Thank you for the music, the songs that we are singing. Should we go to the web? Should we go to the web?
From the web, bollocks. So, couple today, as is our want. I think these are both tweets actually, which is like, who's still using Twitter?
Oh, we're back.
We find these in places, and I'm like, who is still? But anyway, so someone tweeted, someone presumably slightly unhinged tweeted, guys, Dora Jar just sang a Taylor Swift song. I feel like something big is happening tonight at Gracie Abrams at the O2 in London, England, United Kingdom. March the 6th, the Secret of Us Tour, London, N1, brackets, only night, close brackets. Sure. Then Dora Jar has replied, I did. And this person's put, yeah, Champagne Problems. And Dora Jar's put, oh, sorry to disappoint. I played Champagne Supernova by the band Oasis.
Amazing. Amazing.
So I think confirmed that Liam and Noel Gallagher came on stage at Gracie Abrams. Yeah. I don't understand why Dora Jar singing a Taylor Swift song would mean Taylor Swift is going to Gracie Abrams anyway.
Yeah. If anything, it would mean less likely, right? Because if it was like, oh, Taylor Swift's going to pop out,
you wouldn't
you'd
hold
the song.
Songs.
You'd hold the song, wouldn't you? You wouldn't do her song first. Come like, oh, by the way, I am actually here as well. Yeah.
But no, I really enjoy the idea. Like what? Did they just read the first half of like what? Surely they weren't listening to it, going like, oh yeah, this is Champagne Problems. She's just butchering it. They're like, God, she doesn't know this song at all. She's got all the words wrong.
I like the idea that they obviously were like listening and they've gone like, so they're there. They're at the show. Presumably, again, who knows? But presumably, or at least someone is there who is telling them what is going on. Yeah. And they have heard the song start, and they obviously know Champagne Problems by
someone else
Taylor
must
Swift.
have been there, and they said she's doing Champagne Supernova to them. And then they were like, Champagne Supernova, no, I don't know what that is, but you must mean Champagne Problems. Because as we know, a lot of Swifties do seem to like forget that other musicians exist.
Right, yes. That is Jake's opinion, everybody.
No, I
personally love the Swifties, and if you want to go for him, go for it. I
love how much the Swifties desperately need psychiatric help. I love that.
That is, ladies and gentlemen, that is Jake Hawkes. He lives at number 7.
What's great is I've deleted Twitter entirely.
You have. He's out.
So, feel free to tweet me your opinions, Swifties.
Yeah, well, what @ should they send it to?
I will actually be worried if we get the stats back for the show and there's a dramatic uptick in listeners, because I'll be like, oh no, someone has found us.
Yeah, someone has found us. So us. Let me make this clear. Us. Yeah, we're in it together.
Jamie's actually wearing a hat saying, I hate Taylor Swift at the moment.
I don't know. That's a bold-faced lie, sir.
Look, I just want to say that Jamie is actually, by virtue of his silence, besmirching the name of Oasis. So any ham-faced middle-aged men who want to come for Jamie,
why are we concerned about
football Twitter? If you want to come for Jamie,
great. That's what I need. Blokes in their like 50s, bald head. I mean, I've already seen bald caps, over the past couple of weeks. So why not send a few more my way?
Right, I think we've offended all possible people from this one, haven't we?
Yeah. So let's play Oasis Champagne Supernova, shall we?
Yeah, you mean Champagne Problems?
Let's have a listen and find out.
Slowly walking down the hall, faster than a cannonball, while we were getting high. Someday you will find me, can't leave the landslide, and the champagne supernova in the sky. Someday you will find me.
Good stuff. Great. That went well.
I think it did.
we've got one more bit of web bollocks for you, and that is related to the Brit Awards, which also happened in the past couple of weeks. If you don't know, who cares? Didn't watch it then, did you, Jake?
No, but everyone who did said it was really boring, so I'm glad I didn't.
Good stuff. Yeah, I mean, the takeaways weren't that much. A lot of it was just ripping into KSI the whole time. I think that's probably the fairest summary of the Brits.
Yeah, which is fair, because he is a horrible person, isn't
he? Yeah. Shout out to Fontaine's DC for winning a Brit.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. That's great stuff. And to the Last Dinner Party, who also won a Brit.
Yeah, and to Charlie XCX for winning all of the rest of them.
And all the rest of them, yeah, there certainly weren't any others. Before the show, so obviously they did a few, like standalone awards. So there was like Producer of the Year.
Yeah, they sort of
they did a few of these.
They do a couple where they are just sort of like, you can open one Christmas present early because you've been so good, kind of stuff.
And so they gave out a few of these in advance, and one of them was, and I didn't even really know this was actually a Brit Award, so I don't know if this was created this year, was Songwriter of the Year, which this year was awarded to Charlie XCX, who won the award.
For that little album she released that may have had a bit of an impact on the world.
And amazing stuff. Congratulations to Charlie. We want to wonder, I don't know how Charlie feels about it. Like, what's her comment on this news? And Charlie gave it out on Twitter and just quoted, "Yeah, I want to dance to me when I go to the club. Charlie XCX, Songwriter of the Year, XX. Congratulations, Charlie XCX. Great shit. I mean, isn't that arguably what we all want to do? We want to dance to me. Like,
I think so. I would say so. I mean, I don't know what me I would be dancing to be honest.
What do you mean by that?
Like,
would you like what?
I don't have any songs, so
right. It'd be this. It'd be the podcast.
Just grooving to this.
It would be this in full for an hour and a half every 2 weeks, and that's it. That's all you're getting. So,
how annoying must it have been if you're a DJ at some, fancy club that you or I would never go to, Jamie, could never be allowed into.
I don't know what you're trying to say, but yeah, sure.
And this summer, you're like, okay, Indie Sleaze is back, that kind of noughties thing. You know what epitomizes this? That incredible new Charlie XCX album. I'm going to throw out one of those bangers. And then Charlie XCX walks in and she's there that night. Yeah. You'd be like, well, I can't really play it.
Can't play it.
But like that, that would be like the pinnacle of the night, really. Early on in the whole Brat Summer thing, you're like, oh, this is going to go off. And then she's there. You're like, well, what now?
Just deleting slowly from the queue. Like, maybe not. Yeah. No.
Having a drop champagne supernova instead.
But you're fine because Charlie wants to dance.
Exactly. Yes. Sorry. That's true.
That's okay. So it's okay.
Yeah. Although
if anything, you have to play more.
I think in reality, that may be proved. No, I don't. I don't think. I think even if she was fine with it, I don't think she'd be dancing to it.
No.
I think she'd be like, "Oh, look, it's my song." I don't think she'd be, doing the Charleston to it.
The Charleston. Fucking hell, yeah, you're right. You don't go to clubs anymore. Sweet God, the Charleston. Anymore.
Yeah, I used to back in the 1920s.
I mean, that's a shame.
Doing the Charleston in 2013 was absolutely fine, but now you'd be laughed out of the club.
You'd be laughed out of the room, mate. But it'll be fine because there will be club classics playing by Charlie XCX.
All night, never gonna stop till the morning light. Put your hands up and dance. Yeah, I'm gonna dance all night, that's right. All night, never gonna stop, never gonna stop. Yeah, I wanna dance to me. When I get to the club. Yeah, I wanna dance to me.
And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen.
There we have it, another show. The 150th show.
A landmark show, 150 not out.
Didn't it feel like a landmark?
It felt like a landmark. We went through it all. Thanks to Bradley Simpson for coming on the show this week.
For inadvertently being guest on the 150th episode.
A very special occasion. We will be back once more in 2 weeks with more of this, more of that, and more of this. That's what you want. Until then,
goodbye.
Yeah.